Unfortunately, as much as I would hate to admit, we're restarting the AMC grind. Except this time, instead of AMC 10, we're grinding the AMC 12 because I'm an UNC. And I think I should probably stop gatekeeping my actual keeping track system for my grinding log. And this is the same system I use for Yusuko and ACT, and it's like my secret weapon because, I mean, even though I haven't gotten the best result, stupid as I am, what I have gotten was impossible without this log system that I use. That which is why I've been gatekeeping it as well. So, but I feel like first of all, like no one watches my YouTube video, and second of all, the system doesn't really work for most people. It's just for people like me who forget about everything in a problem about 2 minutes after I finish the problem. So this log really works because one, it helps me avoid silly that I've made once, and two, if two problems are like similar enough, I can literally control F in this doc to find the exact technique that I had kept track of. And also it helps me review because usually if you do a problem, you forget about it gradually until you encounter another similar problem, which is not always going to happen. So most of the problems just go to waste. But with this log system, basically what I do is I keep track of the date each problem is done. For example, say this one is done on October 12th, and so are all of these. Then about a week later, for example, for this problem that's done on October 12th, on October 25th, okay, I guess that's like 2 weeks later, but on October 25th, I'll post a comment and then you see how I describe the difficulty. First of all, was a 3, and then I start to elaborate a little bit more in my comment than I did in this first one row summary. Also, I think the one row summary system is really good because you have to really process what you did instead of just like mind dump. You have to extract the actual juicy part of an entire problem solution into one line worth. And then this is what you can actually remember, or when you review, that's going to be your hint when you resolve the problem. I have to admit though, this system works a lot better on musical problems. As you can see, okay, this is last year's, uh, this one from 2024 season. This is the first time that I started using the system, and you can see that it works a lot better for Yusuko because each problem is clearly a lot more complicated than an AMC problem. So yeah, and also AMC, I had to modify the color system a tiny bit for Yusuko. The color directly represents the difficulty, but for AMC, because we need a color to classify what type of problem it is, for example, algebra, combinatorics, number theory versus geometry, I had to record the difficulty. Once I started recording difficulty, I had to do it at the beginning of every line. So yeah, but then again, it usually takes less words to describe an AMC problem than it did for a Yusuko problem. So the line length wasn't that much of a problem on AMC compared to Yusuko. On Yusuko, I literally had to make it pageless so the right part of the comment part doesn't show anymore. So it's not like squishing my line to make something that's supposed to be one line two line because the explanation is too long. So yeah, that's not really a problem for AMC, but still, like condensing it to one line really help you understand what you're actually doing. But anyways, all that yap, I'm trying to just it's mostly for myself. Like if one day I'm forgetting how this log system works, then here it is, and it's really useful for me because I forget how to do a problem right after I do it. So this is good review. Like the first time is you do the problem. Second time is right after you do the problem, you have to summarize it and write it in the doc. The third time is when you actually review it and write in this comment. And usually there's a fourth time, which is when I make a video over it. But some of the problems I don't make videos. So at least though, I'll guarantee 3 times a review per problem. If I can guarantee 4 times, then I probably won't forget the problem up until like whatever contest I'm grinding for, whether that be Yusuko or AMC or ACT. But clearly, it's not still not good enough for long term because 4 times review. If you ask me a random problem right here, I'm not going to be able to do it. Which actually, this is proven because this is my new doc, new tab for this year. I'm using the exact same system, and as you can see, I was doing the algebra problem that I ranked as a 5 last year, and I still can't do it. Yeah, and then the number theory problem as well. No, there was a combo problem that I also tried to do that I did last year, and then I also couldn't remember at all how to do it. I couldn't even remember that I encountered a problem in the first place until I actually looked at a hint that I wrote. So yeah. But like it should work up until whatever competition you're grinding for. You should remember it for at least that long if you're using the system and your memory is really bad enough that you need the system. So yeah, I guess the grind is restarting. Welcome back, followers, I guess.